Now, getting back to our interview with the police commissioner, more than 700,000 suspects have been arrested in the country as part of the police's Operation Shanela. And this, of course, an initiative that was launched a while ago. Now, these include over 161,000 wanted suspects for priority crimes, including murder, crash in transit, armed robberies, sexual offences, rape, carjackings and firearm-related offences. And this was recently revealed by the National Commissioner of Police, General Fannie Masemola. And yesterday, the South African Police Service Special Task Force Unit rescued 90 undocumented Ethiopian nationals, including one who was kidnapped last week, who were allegedly being kept against their will and under inhumane conditions in Sunnydale Ridge here in Johannesburg. So to talk to us more about this fight against crime, we're joined virtually now by General Fannie Masemola, who is our National Police Commissioner. General Masemola, thanks for your time. Welcome to Morning Live.
Good morning to you and your viewers, Sakina.
General, let's just start by taking stock of Operation Shanela and, of course, the results that we are seeing. Would you say that this has indeed shown positive results in crime fighting in the country?
Indeed, Sakina, Operation Shanela, since we started implementing it May last year to now, we have achieved quite a lot of successes. There's over 700,000 people arrested, and all the prisons are full. There's quite a high number of cases that are ready for trial, and also a number of areas, including our labs, under pressure because of processing of what they're supposed to do in terms of exhibits. So yes, indeed, it has been and it's still a success, and we are continuing with the crime fighting initiatives.
So with all of those arrests, over 160,000, General Masemola, as you say, some of those are getting ready to be tried. But how many exactly? Because, yes, it's a huge number of people to arrest, but of course, the entire criminal justice system then comes into question in terms of how many of those actually see the inside of a courtroom.
Quite a number of them that goes see inside the courtroom, Sakina. You take note that most of the court halls are full, and the postponements are taken too far way out on the outer years. So that shows that there's a lot of people that are going through the system, and we will not stop. We'll continue with the work that we are doing.
General Masemola, there's so much to talk about, and in the interest of time, I'm just going to try and touch on a few of the more pertinent cases that stand out. The KwaZulu-Natal province has been under the spotlight recently, concerns being raised about suspected criminals being killed in shootouts with the police. Now, some have praised the response of the police, others have said the police are perhaps being a bit trigger happy. What are your thoughts on this? And also, I suppose the pertinent question here is, are the police in KZN acting within the ambit of the law?
Sakina, the reports that I get from the provincial commissioner is that police are acting within the ambit of the law. You would recall it's not only in KZN. We have seen in Makado where police and suspects they faced each other off for 90 minutes. And one of our members lost a leg there. And further in Gauteng, in Oliver Noordbosch, in Johannesburg, in Rosettenville, recently in the Eastern Cape, where 5 suspects were fatally wounded when they challenged police when they were found at a safe house after a CIT robbery. So it's not only in KZN, but the fact of the matter, Sakina, is if criminals pull out guns to police, surely, definitely, they will have to face what will come out of their way. If criminals, they get arrested, by all means, there's no problem. And in all these cases, there's a lot of number of firearms that are recovered from those suspects, be it rifles, pistols, and so on. The rifles that were found with the 5 CIT robbers in the Eastern Cape, around Craddock, Kiskamahu. 5 rifles were found, high caliber rifles. The owner of the house was not shot because he didn't give any resistance. So it's not to say police just shoot willy-nilly. If you point a gun on them, of course, they must defend themselves. And we don't want to, everybody, be it a suspect or a police man or woman, is expected to go to work, come back to work, to come back home. But if suspects challenge police, we expect police to make sure that they defend themselves and defend the society. There is nobody that is out there to defend the society except them.
Is there any difference in the approach in KwaZulu-Natal to the engagement with criminal elements as opposed to other provinces in the country? And I'm asking this, General, based purely on the reports that we see. Every other week, every other weekend, it seems, we are talking about shootouts between police and criminals, particularly in KZN. And you did point out the instance in the Eastern Cape, but, those are rather few and far between. Or are we just getting more reports from KZN? What seems to be the case?
Sakina, the case, as I say, the police in the KZN are looking for mostly your armed robbery suspects, murder suspects, and when they get to arrest these criminals, they challenge the police. And in the process, they get shot. So those are the reports that I get, that criminals do challenge the police and fire the police, and the police respond. That's basically the reports that I get from the province.
General Masemola, also a lot being said about police intelligence, especially in the light of foreign nationals who are in the country and have been taken into custody over the past 2 weeks. There was the incident in Mpumalanga where the 95 Libyan nationals were taken into custody there at what seemed to be a military camp. And then over the past weekend, we saw again 90 Ethiopian nationals arrested or being rescued at a place where they were being kept. And some communities with high numbers of gang violence have also seen children being caught up and killed during gang wars in areas such as the Cape Flats, also here in Gauteng, in Westbury and Eldorado Park. Do you think police intelligence within these communities is functioning optimally?
Thanks, Sakina. Yes, there is intelligence, Sakina. The Libyan camp in Bombela. Remember, the Libyans did not come into the country illegally. They came through visas, of course. How they acquired the visa and the reason for that is under investigation. But they came in legally, but of course, the intelligence picked them up and they monitored as to what is happening at that camp until they are convinced that they think they are overstepping certain, contravening certain laws. And hence they were stopped. So the Ethiopians that are in the country, Sakina, you would know that the rest of, or majority of our African countries, they are coming to the south. Your Ethiopians, your Somalians, and the Asian Middle East. So they are coming to South Africa for various reasons, majority of them which are economic reasons. It's unfortunate that countries of first instance are not assisting us, because if you come from Ethiopia, there's so many countries that you pass coming to South Africa. Unfortunately, they don't assist us and they cross over in various forms. And as and when we find them or when we get intelligence, we'll keep on routing them up, sending them back. But unfortunately, some of them, of course, they will go to Home Affairs, Immigration Reception Office and cry foul for either be asylum or refugee. But we'll keep on taking those that are illegal ourselves, together with the Department of Home Affairs. We'll keep on sending them back to their home countries.
General, it would seem from the reports from yesterday's arrest that with regard to the Ethiopian nationals who were found at the house here in Lyndhurst, that the police almost stumbled across that. So were they aware, was police intelligence aware of the presence of those 90 Ethiopians in that house, or was that just a fortuitous finding in looking for a kidnapped suspect? And then the other question about the Libyans. There, again, when did police intelligence become aware of the presence of those 95 Libyan prisons and the activity that was taking place on that farm?
With the last question, Sakina, it was reported that the intelligence has been aware for quite some time. They were monitoring as to what exactly is it that is being done on the farm. And once they have detected what is being done, and then there was intervention. With the Ethiopians, yes, police were looking for to do a hostage release, and they stumbled, yes, you're right, across these Ethiopians. There's quite a number of these people come into the country in various forms, Sakina. It's not the first time that we have a group like this that are found in houses, kept there for various reasons. It has been happening for quite some time, and these people come across the border in various forms, of course, for other ulterior motives, like, as I said, you are for doing business and so on. Thank you.
And then to that point, you know, I remember some time back there was concern raised about paramilitary groups and training that's happening on various farms across South Africa. And when that story about the 95 Libyans came to light, it reminded me of this. And I'm talking several years back when that sort of concern was raised. Also, SIRA, the private security industry, do we know exactly how many people they are employing and how many of those are actually foreign nationals in their employ, and also the sort of activity that they are participating in the country?
Sakina, the private security industry have over 400,000 employees. But of course, SIRA is the one that know who's who in that environment, as they are responsible for compliance. But they do inspections at various security companies to make sure whether they are complying, and their work is continuing in that regard. But as to how many are foreign, I wouldn't know that. I'm sure Sarah would know that. But as far as I know, they do not employ foreigners in that field unless that foreigner has been in the country, of course, for a specific time period, which I'm not privy to as to how long should a person be in this country before he get employed for security guard.
Would you agree, though, General, that that is a cause for concern? Because you don't know. We saw on that farm in Mpumalanga where you were told that security training was taking place when, in fact, that was military training taking place. So there is no indication, and I would imagine you don't even know how many of those sort of farms and activities of the like are taking place in the country at the moment.
But the security companies, the number of security companies, Sarah would know about, and they continuously tell us. And where we collect intelligence and we know that this is happening, like it did happen in the case of these Ethiopians, we will intervene, of course. We will definitely intervene.
But the point is, you don't know, General. Intelligence doesn't know, because the residents in Masoi were the ones who came out and made a noise about that. And then we were told, yes, intelligence knew about it. If intelligence knew, why didn't they act upon it until the community actually complained?
The intelligence said they knew. They've been monitoring these people for quite long to see what exactly is happening on the farm. That's what we were told. And eventually, when they realized that the type of training that is happening on the farm is more than security training, that's when intervention came in.
Well, General, unfortunately, we're out of time, so we have to leave it there for today. But thank you so much for your time. General Fannie Masemola was the National Police Commissioner talking to us about the police's crime-fighting initiatives around the country.